Welcome to COMX-TV. We are your weekly guide to the comic book world. I'm Mike.
And I'm Steve. And each and every week we bring you the up-to-date comic previews, reviews, and the hottest news around.
Okay, Comics Buyer's Guide reports that Harvey Comics is getting back into animation. Harvey Famous Studios in Hollywood will be resurrected to produce 13 episodes of The Baby Huey Show. Now, the last time Harvey had anything to do with animation was in the 1960s. Live-action movies are planned for Harvey characters Richie Rich and Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Okay, a couple weeks ago we brought you something called Valiant Vision. Mike talked about it. Now, here's a good surprise. Valiant Vision works on other comics too. Some of the previewed comics that it works on: Ninjak #1, Black Orchid #3, and a cover of Punisher #86. It has something to do with the red and orange foil covers. Pick it up. It's really cool.
Kingpin Comics, which prints industry critiques and news, in its weekly ad in the Comics Buyer's Guide, lists some interesting figures for November publishers. The top 10 books by estimated print run include #1, The Uncanny X-Men #308 with 435,000 copies. #2 is Spawn 18, 3, X-Men 28, 4, Ninjak #1, 5, Action Comics #695, 6, Wildcats 6, 7 is X-Men 2099 #4, 8 is Cyberforce 2, 9 is Batman 503, and 10, the top 10, is Superman 85 with 272,000 estimated printed copies. Now, Dark Horse had 20 titles in November with a total of 900,000 copies. DC had 66 titles with 4,975,000 total copies, and Malibu had 12 titles with 900,000 total copies.
Okay, here's a new one. Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's official, folks. The 4th Star Trek television series will be Star Trek Voyager. Star Trek Voyager will have its debut, the first one syndicated in January 1995. A little bit about it. The USS Voyager, a new starship with a crew of about 200 people, is sent after a renegade Starfleet crew in this pilot episode. This is the first episode. They end up in the Badlands section of deep space where ships disappear near the Cardassian border. As you might guess, both ships vanish and end up in unexplored space. Now, some of the crew members in this will be a female commanding officer, which will be a first in this kind of series, a Klingon human female, a sentient hologram instead of like Data in the Next Generation, an older male Vulcan, a Native American, at least 2 other alien races. At this time, sources say that Jerry Taylor, executive producer of Star Trek: The Next Generation, is likely to join the Voyager team as an actor. So keep in touch. This one should be cool.
And lastly, this week, Ertl Toys has announced that after January 1st, 1994, it will no longer manufacture die-cast toys based on the characters and vehicles from Batman, the animated series. Die-cast figures of Robin, Joker, Penguin, Catwoman, and 2 Batman figures have all been created. And that is it for this week's news. Beginning this week with our mainstream reviews, we have Steve.
Okay. For my first book this week, I'm going back to basics. Death's Head #2, Gold Edition #1, if you can understand that one. It's by Marvel. This one started out where Death's Head is walking across the desert, and this creature comes up from underneath the sand, tries grabbing him, and he ends up killing him. This one's got a General Cicatrice. Hard name to pronounce, hard name to read in a book. He is trying to destroy Death's Head. It seems every book Death's Head is a new enemy. Well, this is pretty good. With his good friends, Huron and Tuck, 2 girls that are born warriors, he takes on General Cicatrice's army. And, I mean, it's a bloodfest. There's a lot of killing, a lot of maiming. Very, very interesting, though. Good storyline. When Huron gets killed, Tuck and Death's Head go on an all-out rampage war. This one I gave only 2 to. For it lacks towards the end of the story. It doesn't tell you what's going to happen. The color in this was great. The actors, well, the artist's rendition of the actors was very good. Death's Head has a little change in him. He's not the same Death's Head as he used to be. But like I said, I gave this one a 2. For my second one, brand new title, The Thing from Another World. It's not The Thing like everybody thinks. This is from Dark Horse Comics, number 1 of 4. This one is called Eternal Vows. This one was really, really neat. It starts out where this guy's down on a pier fishing, and he's sitting there with a little kitty cat, and he's feeding this cat bait. He's trying to fish, and nothing comes up. Somebody walks up behind him, asks him how things are going. They're going terrible. Nothing's going on. All of a sudden, he's attacked by this creature. Now, this one is sort of graphic, so I would think about, if you're a little young, just purchasing it, you know, have your parents check it out and take a look at it before you buy it. There is some swearing in this, not really partial nudity, but quite graphic on death and that. But it was a pretty good book. The color in this was really good. It's scary. If they ever make a movie similar to this, it's going to be pretty good. So I gave this one about a 2.2 on the Richter scale. Okay, for my third one, Superman, I didn't get the number here, number 4. On the Superman Man of Steel, in Action Comics, I should say. This one has Cauldron. This one is really neat. The cover on this is reflective. Superman has facing at the beginning this new superhero called Cauldron. He's part machine, part man. Starts out, Superman flies into this warehouse. Cauldron's attacking these arms dealers. He didn't know what was going on, so Cauldron shows him. Later on in the book, Cauldron turns against Superman, starts fighting him, but at the end he ends up saving. It's either Cauldron dies or these people in a warehouse, the warehouse is collapsing. Cauldron sacrifices himself so Superman can fly out. This one was really, really down to the basic of comics again. The color was good, sort of bland, but still good. The storyline was very, very good, but I don't think we've seen the end of Cauldron. I think Cauldron will be back. And now, for my fourth and final book. This one is a special here. Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, number 4. This is the story of Kingpin and his number 1 man, Larks. Daredevil is still young. He's still like an older teenager, 18, 19 years old. He meets a new friend named Mickey, a girl, which she's a runaway. She's staying in the gym where his father used to fight. And they get to become very good friends. And what happens was this gang tries kidnapping these little girls to sell them. And one of them tried turning against Kingpin. Kingpin sends his man Larks in to take these 2 guys out. He takes them out, ends up carrying away Mickey. It's up to Daredevil to save her. The story was great in this. The color was great in this. Everything was great in this. I gave this one a 3. This was a definite good book. And as you know with the Daredevil series, they're already starting to run parts 1, 2, and 3 in their second run, and the colors are opposite. Instead of black on red, it's red on black, and white on black instead of black on white. But very good. And that's it for the mainstreams, and now we're going straight into the indie reviews.
Okay.
With Mike.
My first book this week is called Vixen Wars. It's number 5, created and written by Dayton Wolf, penciled by Jeff Palmer, and inked by David Rowe. The book is published by Raging Rhino out of Hollywood, Florida. Most of Rhino's books deal with women as world leaders, sexual situations, nudity, and anything like that. They're all the same type of adult books. Vixen Wars is no different. The art is very good. The story is very weird. If you're an adult male over 18, you might enjoy it. There's nudity, adult situations, profanity, you name it, it's in there. It's $2.95, and unfortunately, I only give this one 1 star. My second book this week is Ralph Snart Adventures, number 4 from Now Comics. This is Mr. Lizard, and you saw him in our first season. Okay, this is done by Mark Hansen. He writes it, he pencils it. Okay, Snart and Mr. Lizard are traveling, looking for beer in the Goopmobile, which is Snart's book. Snart's book. Snart's mobile there. President Clinton's cat Socks ate Snart's heart in the last issue, and he is now in charge of the United States. Socks grows larger. A demon is summoned by a rock band, and Dr. Gorpon goes after the demon. Meanwhile, Snart and Lizard meet a cult leader in a hick bar. This is one wild book. The art is very similar to the old cartoons. I don't know if they still produce those. They were all cartoons about cars and stuff like that. It's great color, exaggerated features. It's a very weird story. It's $2.50. It's monthly from Now Comics, and I give that 1.5 stars. My third book this week is Manic Press's ENTS, or Entertainment Shorts, as they call it. It's number 4, and it's from April 1993. Now, it's being resolicited by Capitol. Actually, issue number 1 is being resolicited by Capitol and some of the smaller distributors. So these issues, even though they came out this year, they're going to be coming out again next year to a larger audience. Now, ENTS is an anthology with 2 stories written and drawn by C. Gail Baskin. The Edgewood Incident is about a laboratory rabbit who was once human. Now, Exoskeleton is the other story. This continues the story of Charles Newman, who created a living brain. He stole a robot, he inserted the brain in it, and he tried to put the two together. He was captured, and while he's in captivity, Facilia, the interrogator, she's a female, she tries to get a rise out of him. Now, it's $2.50, it's black and white, and it's airbrushed. It's good stories and good art. This is a 2-star book. And my last book this week is called Dressed for Success, number 12. It's from Augusta Comics in Ontario, Canada. Now, Jeff Wasson wrote the story and drew the story. Chris Howard co-wrote and did the backgrounds. And Greg Bett co-wrote and contributed some of the artwork. Now, this is an excellent, excellent story about 2 guys. I don't think it ever mentioned what their names were. They stole 50 million Plazar dollars, but they lose it. So what they do is they go back in time and they try to steal it from themselves before they lose it. So it's a pretty neat story. This is a double-sized issue. I think it's really good. Excellent black and white, small press. It's $2. It comes out quarterly, so the next one won't be out for a few more months. And this one is 2.5 stars. And that is my last book for this week. We have next going into our weekly previews. This is where we each pick a book that we like coming up in the upcoming months, and something for you to think about purchasing.
Okay, for my first one, I'm going with Morbius number 19. It's $1.75 from Marvel. Morbius and Deathlock team up to track the Wrath with the help from the vampire cult introduced in the last issue. The riveting origin of the resurrected Wrath is told as Morbius makes a friend in the police department. That's very unusual. This one sounds very interesting, and it's shipping January 20th. That's my preview for today.
And my preview for this week, looking through all the new comics that are going to be coming out in the coming months, I wasn't too sure where to start. There's new books from Caliber, Bongo, Axis Comics, which is the guys who do Tribe. They're coming out with a whole line of comics now that they were kicked out of Image, and they've got their own line. There's all new universes, Legend from Dark Horse. There's a lot of stuff coming up. So it was kind of tough to pick what I should take. So my choice was not easy, but I picked one. I looked beyond the normal superhero genre. Nomadic Dreams number 2 is my book that I picked. It's from Spire Studios and Ed Oshima and Michael London. Electric Dreams continues with the Trojan executable encountering the computer virus in the pleasure program, The Abyss. The graduate student Tony is digitalized into a sword and sorcery environment when the virtual reality computer malfunctions. Tony's quest to find the password leads him into the forest azure where danger awaits him. Now, there's 32 pages. It's full color, computer rendered, and manipulated artwork. $2.95 out in February, and that sounds like it could be a very good book. Next in the Comics TV scheme, we have a little feature from the Toronto Comic Show. This is about, it's going to do a little bit on collecting because it has to do with these new type of plastic collection boxes for comics and
Storage box.
storage boxes. And the creators here, the company here, they'll give you an idea of what these are and why they're better than the cardboard ones.
Hi. The product is manufactured with archivally safe plastic. We developed a line of boxes for the archive industry, and some people in the comic industry thought it would be a great idea to promote the product. And we developed a format for the comic books to house 300, 150 comics. We also have them for trading cards in different sizes. The material is approved by the National Archives. It's used by the Smithsonian Institute in Washington and National Archives of Canada and several provincial levels. And we started promoting it about 6 months ago, and we are selling now in Canada. Doing a good job with it. We've got some good distributors in the U.S. we're selling to, and sales are just taking off. And since we've got a good manufacturing base for our other products, this here fits right into the manufacturing stream.
You do plastics?
Plastics, we do work with cardboard, but we're promoting plastics because it's acid-free, material's waterproof. Anybody who does a show uses cardboard boxes. After 2 or 3 shows, you know that the material is finished. You can't wash it, you can't clean it. This you can leave in a pool of water for a month, and it's still good. As well, environmentally, there's no trees being cut down to manufacture this product, and it's 100% recyclable.
Chop it up for insulation?
That's right. That's right. Park benches, whatever you want. But the box should last 40 to 50 times longer. If you take a look at if you take a cardboard box and you bend the cover like this, it's finished. Plastic just folds right back in, so you can drive over with a forklift, put it back in. As you can see on the thing here, this guy's 260 pounds on top of this brochure here. My brother. And it's holding, yeah. So we're looking for dealers. We only sell 2 dealers, and we're looking for dealers throughout Canada and the U.S. And we're supporting our dealer network with point-of-purchase material and educational. Teach them a little bit about archiving the products, because there isn't that much out there for the comics. And the problem is, comic books are printed on newsprint. Right. And newsprint is normally a very poor quality paper. There's a lot of acids and chemicals in there used in manufacturing. And when the acids come off of the paper, they've got to have somewhere to go. And if it's on a regular backer board or in a cardboard box, it just stays in there and creates what they call microclimate. And inside there, you've got the acids. With the plastic, it expels it, and it's got nowhere for it to go but out. It's not something that happens overnight. It's over several years. But when you think of how much money you put into a comic box, in comics, the box is very inexpensive. You can put 300 comics in here at average, say $3 a piece. You're talking $1,000 in comics. Right. The box is about twice the price of cardboard. But once they try plastic, they'll never go back to cardboard, especially show dealers.
So what's the suggested retail?
This is $11 Canadian retail.
Really?
Yeah, $10.99 retail.
That's not bad though.
No, not bad at all. No.
Considering it's a lot more durable.
Exactly, exactly. It comes knocked down. It's available in 10 different colors. We make it in white with gray and white with blue lids, but if a customer wants, we've got over here, boxes are also available in red.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Just add a bit of color to it. Mm-hmm. They're easy to assemble. They go together the same way as the cardboard.
Yeah.
And like I said,
great.
And that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. All right, that was comic store storage boxes. They're plastic. They're very. I think they're a good. It's a good tool. I think that they're going to become something to be reckoned with the cardboard boxes.
But I want to throw a comment in there. Seeing as it is a new product out on the market, it is very highly priced. I think they're worth it, but to tell you the truth, I think I'll stick with the cardboard ones for a while until the price starts coming down. Now that these are out, they're going to circulate more. When they start getting more common, the price will come down like everything, but I think it's a really good idea. They're indestructible.
Yeah, indestructible. You can get them wet.
Protect your books.
300 or 200-pound guy can stand on one and it won't crush and it'll be excellent. I bet you'll see, before anything, you'll see dealers using them.
Dealers using them.
They go to the shows because that's where they ruin these boxes. There's no way they can use these boxes for
over and
6
over.
months.
Yeah.
people digging through and stuff. But I think it's a good product, and it will be very popular, I think, in the coming future.
Definitely.
Okay, and lastly, this week, we've got an interview with members of Lethargic Comics. They're out of Toronto, up in that area. And I had reviewed Lethargic Comics Weekly. I'm not sure what issue it was, back about a couple months ago. And they're up in Toronto. When we were up there, we met them and we talked with them. I guess it was the first time in about a year or two, that the entire creative team had been together at one place in one show. So I figured we'd get some time with them. And here's a little interview with the members of Lethargic Comics.
And what happened was we were working issue number 1 to 11, and then these guys over here right beside us thought we were great, so they decided to take us over. So they're publishing us now, number 12, and then we stopped with number 12. We're doing a 3-issue miniseries, and next we're going to be doing a run of Lethargic Comics number 1.
These are all out?
Yeah, these are here right now, yep.
I wasn't sure if they were out.
Yes, they're out and available, yes.
Now, who's who?
I'm Brian LeMay.
I'm Steve Remen. I'm Greg Hyland. I'm John Miori, and I like cheese.
Excellent.
It's true. It's true.
He's a cheese man.
I am a cheese man. Mocha cheese. The best.
How long you been working together?
About
2.5 years.
Well, we've been doing this for 2.5 years, and then we did it as a small press photocopied comic for 3 years before that.
We've all worked together?
Yeah, it kind of just, we glommed onto each other.
We have become one.
Where are you
Like
from?
moldy bread.
Basically.
Is it Hamilton, Burlington. Yeah.
Because we're from down there. So.
From Buffalo.
Yeah.
You said. Well, we don't have our Buffalo correspondent here. She's walking around.
We drive through Buffalo when we're down to the States.
We have our books smuggled to Buffalo.
Yeah. Cool. They ship them there, and then we pick them up.
And then we ride the Huskies back.
Yeah, let's tell the border police that right now.
Yeah.
We smuggle books to Buffalo.
They're focused on you guys.
How's everything going? Obviously, if they
It's
took
going
you...
good. It's good.
Yeah,
It's
it's
much
not
better
too
now.
bad.
Yeah.
It's
It's better since you've gone
better
on
since we've gone with the other guys.
What,
Yeah.
better distribution? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better advertising.
Is it?
Yeah,
We're
because
getting
we
more
had
money
none before.
They have money.
Attention in the
Yeah,
magazine.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Hero is doing articles on us, and Wizards
Buyer's
still won't touch us.
Although someone in when we were in
Columbus.
Ohio, someone told us that we were in Wizard.
Wow.
That in the Palmer's
There you
Pick
go.
section,
To Mid-Ohio?
we were in
We've
Wizard.
hit the
Mid-Ohio.
Greg and Steve went to the Mid-Ohio.
It's not like there's a million issues.
Took my
of Wizard,
choice, that one or this one. So this one's closer.
So
Yeah.
a kid was like, "Yeah, I saw you in the Wizard." We're like, "No, you saw us in here."
So it's going all right.
No,
we're
you're
having a lot of fun with it.
Good. What was your plans after this?
After this one, we're doing a new run of Lethargic Comics. And it's starting off at issue number 1. It'll pick up with this story, the end of this storyline here. This breaks into a new storyline, a 3-issue miniseries, and then we're going from this one into issue number 1 of the regular. We just changed the name from Lethargic Comics Weekly to Lethargic Comics because everybody got confused with the weekly part.
Who came up with this whole idea? Yeah.
It was Greg's original idea was Lethargic Lad.
Well, it depends on the
And then from there, we just sort of, everybody banded together and put in their own sections. Steve does him, John and Greg do the grad. That's us. Greg does Lethargic Lad with John, and Guy with the Gun, and I do the Zit.
And John eats cheese. I eat
John
cheese.
does like cheese, yes.
I do, in fact, like cheese.
Do you have any with you?
cheese?
with you.
No, unfortunately, we forgot to bring the cheese.
Paul, I need that Egg McMuffin. Paul,
We
egg
need
me.
it now. Right now.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay, no problem.
Okay,
Thank you.
And that was Lethargic Comics. Now, one of the goals of COMX-TV is not to highlight all of the #1 comics, all of the Supermans, Batman, Spawns, and everything.
All the time, yeah.
Right, we try, that's why we have a little split and we do the independents also, because a lot of these books are very good books that you'll never see. And Lethargic Comics is one of those companies that we might not personally think that their material is the greatest, but it's something to be presented to you because maybe you like it.
Yeah, we're not trying to tell you buy it or don't buy it. You're the consumer. It's up to you. If you like it, purchase it. If you don't, You don't have to. We're just trying to give you a hand and telling you what we think.
Right, and maybe seeing the creators there and actually listening to what they say and seeing some of the covers, maybe it would give you an
a better idea of what it is.
Right, give you an incentive to go out and purchase them.
Yeah.
We may review another one down the line here because they're now with Alpha Productions, as they mentioned. They no longer publish it themselves, but it's another aspect of Comics TV that we like to bring to our viewers, because Comics TV is not just for you or for me or Steve. It's for everyone.
Yep. Including Grandma. The dog. Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah. And speaking of Itchy and Scratchy, this is Christmas, and we weren't the new Simpsons Bartman and Radioactive Man didn't come out yet, so we weren't able to complete our poster here. So hopefully, by the next time you see us, because we're not going to be doing a New Year's show, because it's New Year's Day, nobody's going to be watching, or the people that are going to be watching, God bless you.
Yeah.
So,
but we'd like to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. A very safe Christmas. Don't drink and drive.
Yes, a Happy Holidays.
Yes.
And we will be back with another new live show on 2 weeks, the week after Christmas, or the week after New Year's.
Yes.
And we'll have a new adjusted format to bring you a better,
bigger and better
Comics TV.
Yep. So, next time you patronize your local comics shop, purchase a book, read it. Don't throw it on a shelf. So next time you go in, tell them you've seen it on Comics TV. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and snark to you.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Spider-Man, Superman, they're all coming right to you. Venom, Bart, Archie too.